Red Light Project. There's Tom. Yes. Hi there. I decided since I couldn't be here this morning, I've just been sitting here most of the day, wondering what to do with myself, and just decided about half an hour ago that I really ought to go live tonight. I've not done an evening live other than the Friday, which I've done now 2 weeks in a row. I haven't done an evening live in really a long time. So that would be fun, see if we could draw a crowd. We got 14 people so far. So, we got a little crowd. Maybe make it a bigger crowd. Let's see who all's here. James Green, Kevin Rosenberg. You know what I want to do is get over. Let me do this. Let me get over to Father Fish on the Monday evening. Is get over right there, and we'll shut the volume off, and we'll type in live chat, and we'll see where we go from there. Let's see. To the top, Joshua Miller, Color Guppies. Now, I think who was here first? Yes, Joshua and Color Guppies. Right, so I got it right. All right. J-Dog. Chris Trapp, currently taking a break from harvesting the endless Vallisneria in my flower horn tank. My mind. Well, I hope you're putting it to good use. It does go well in salads, although I recommend you rinse the roots really well. Oh, J-Dog says I have the first stage of your landing page up. J-Dog is doing a website for us that is going to be just remarkable. We've already got it up and running. It's called FatherFishAquarium.net. 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 We've got a lot of stuff for sale on it. I was over at Teespring today. By the way, this is the Fish Family shirt. Let me show you the back. Ta-da! Is that cool or what? Did you see it? I don't know if you saw it. I have my back turned. It's remembering Aquarium Cop. Right over my pacemaker, actually. Oh dear, Cop. I love Cop. And he loved me. We had such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friendship. It just seems like all the amazing people, the really amazing people, just kind of, they disappear on us, don't they? They go away. And we're left without them and feeling bereft and longing to be back with them again. I know. Who else is here? Let's see. Chris Trapp, we said. J-Dog. Sarge's Aquatics. Hoping everyone's having a great night. Colored Guppies. Hello, hello. Who else? Michael Long. Right, surprise, surprise. Monday night, Father Fish. Well, couldn't do it this morning, so thought I'd do it this evening. Just, just to kind of pop in and say hello and fritter away an hour with friends. I missed it. I missed it this morning, and I just had to get back and be with all my friends. So, hello, hello, hello. Who else? Plant Life Project. Hello, Plant Life Project. James Green barely made it. Thanks for the event. You're very welcome, James. Kevin Rosenberg. Tori, Erpenbeck. 3G. 377. Chris says, I won't be having Vallisneria salad. Well, what can I say? I don't eat my fish either. I have. I take that back. About 2 years ago, I had come into the shop, a red-tailed cat about 2 foot long, and already had 3. And a pacu about the same size, and I already had 3. So I didn't need them. So we cooked them. I took them across, I cleaned them, took them across the street to the Thai restaurant and asked them to prepare a special dish with them for our club meeting. We took them to the club meeting and we had red-tailed cat and pacu for dinner at the club. Everybody, I think, enjoyed it. I think everybody tasted it. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was nice. Tam Shepard, what a great surprise. Well, thank you, Tam. Nice to see you. Paul Shreves. Hello, Paul. Timberlake Homestead. Hello, Timberlake Homestead. And I said Tam Shepard, who's put up the Discord link. Any of you who have not been on Discord, come on over and join the party. We're having quite a good time over there. We got about, I don't know how many, I think we're up to 400 people that signed up on it. At any one point in time, there are 50 to 100 people in a bunch of different channels, all of which make sense and are fun and engaging. And listen, you just need to do it. Just come on over and be part of the party. It's a conversation like this. And we can actually do this over there or in a smaller group. That makes it fun because we can all get up and holler at each other. Oh, Kevin, Timberlake, Tam, Jason Peculiar. Good evening, Jason from Scotland. Nice to have you here. Must be a little, is it late there? Is it late? It's late there. You're up late, Jason. Thank you for staying up. Well, let's see. Kevin says, can't wait for this fall so I can grab a ton of leaves for my aquarium. Now, remember when you're doing this, when you're collecting leaves for your aquarium, the first group of leaves you want to collect are leaves from some body of water, a creek, a stream, a pond, a lake, whatever, some body of water. You want to get leaves that are beginning to deteriorate because they have mycelium and bacteria, plus a whole lot of other nano critters, a microscopic life on and around them, growing on them, living on them, surrounding them. So when you bring that in, you're bringing a whole ecosystem into your tank. And then just spread it across the top. Lay it right over the sand. And they'll do fine. They'll do wonderfully. Ooh, Detroit Shrimp. Hello, Detroit Shrimp and Aquatics. Nice to see you. Good to have you here. So, yeah, Kevin, that's going to be exciting. There are so many people. Again, over on Discord, we've got folks posting videos, little videos of their tank that are ponds. And they've actually gone out and collected all kinds of material from the wild, from ponds and creeks, and put them in their fish tank. And they've got they've got a wild pond full of all sorts of bugs, and oh, it's just amazing, really amazing. It'll change the way you think about fish keeping. Come on over and try it out. Great fun. Jason, 2 a.m. here. My goodness, you are up late. Let's see who else is here. Kevin says we'll do Father Fish for sure. Yeah, it'll make it so much more fun. You can put the leaves in, just regular leaves off the ground, but you're not necessarily going to get the kind of biology that you really want in that system to turn it into a food web. And that's the key. We're in the food webs. Nobody else talking about food webs. Now you have to understand, and this is critical to understand. We are on the absolute vanguard of the tropical fish hobby. No one else is doing what we're doing. We're way out in front of the parade. And we're trying to entice people in so that we can get a crowd in here doing deep substrate, doing food webs, doing natural, not just natural looking, but natural tanks, actually real living aquariums with all of the bio load, all of the animal life, the animalcules, and plant matter that goes into making up any kind of body of water out in the wild. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what our fish come out of. And to think about this for a minute. We have this attitude, oh, everything has to be so perfect, so clean, so pristine, so absolutely pure, with not a grain of dirt and not a bit of bacteria in it. Where in the world is there a fish in the world living in an environment like that other than in some crazy fish tanks? Crazy fish tanks. It's not the way fish live their lives. They live their lives the same way we do, out in the dirt and the muck. So you need dirt and muck, if you will, if you want to have a really healthy aquarium. You kind of have to wrap your head around it. And then once you do, you've got it, and it becomes really easy to move forward with that and to begin to develop systems that really are healthy, strong, vibrant, stable. My aquariums, let me look at a couple here real quick. All of my aquariums are aquariums that have been set up for roughly 10 years. All of them, except for these two, salt in the bottom. And we're still working on that. But all of the others, they've been set up a long time. You know what I do in these tanks? Well, this one's going to get a water change because I've got to get rid of some algae in there. I'm getting hair algae, and I want to get rid of it. This one has not had a water change since I moved here, which is 3-4 months ago, and it won't get one probably for another 6-8 months. Does it need it? Why do it if it doesn't need it? It's a stable, healthy tank. That's what you want to get to. You know, there's no benefit to going in there and mucking around in your tank every day of the week. There's no benefit to it at all. It's not good for the fish. It's not good for you. It's certainly not good for the aquarium. And it makes it difficult to be able to grow anything. The tank needs to be stable. It needs to be stable. It needs to be able to become whatever it is that's going to become. When I first brought these tanks over and set them up, I put water in them and I ignored them for a month. I did nothing for a month. I just let them settle down, let them calm down, let them get used to their new environment. Not just the fish, but the tank itself, all of the life in the tank. And then it began doing some things, began adding plants, began adding fish, did a few water changes, which needed to be done because I had put creek water in to begin with. Turns out that wasn't the best thing to do. So I had to do some water changes. But the tanks are stable. I can walk away from here for literally 6 months. And if I keep a lid on them and put the lights on a timer, they will be fine when I get back. Think of it. Think of it. Is your tank like that? Can you do that? That's what you need to get to. And it's not hard to do. It's really not a problem. It's easy to do. All you have to do is trust yourself to a father fish substrate. That's really key. You've got to have a deep substrate, and you ought to have dirt in the bottom of that. That's going to give you the foundation that your tank needs in order to be able to thrive. So do that, set it up, load it with plants. You want lots of plants, and don't go out and buy expensive plants. Buy cheap plants. Collect plants from outside and put them in there. You want to get it growing. Once it's growing and established, you can begin doing some fancier stuff, which is what I've done here. I had people complaining to me, "Oh, your tanks are all just common plants." Well, I took that to heart, and I've started putting uncommon plants in here, and I've done a few, not a lot, but look at that, my word, it is solid with plants. And there's some pretty nice plants in there. Now, I could not have done that day one. Wouldn't have been possible. They wouldn't have survived. But, down the road, once it gets established and healthy, you can do it. You can do anything you want to do. You just want to, you want to give it a chance to establish itself. And then let it be. Just let it be. Spend your time watching it, not puttering around in it. Is Alex in the chat tonight? Haven't seen him. He may pop in. Let's see. Where are we? Detroit, trying to get there. Almost there. It's close. Brad Hobbies. I know. Brad is doing some amazing things. He's got a bunch of videos and pictures and whatnot up on the Discord channel. Go check him out. It's really amazing. Plant Life Project. I set up a 10-gallon pond tank in my greenhouse several weeks ago in order to have a stock of inoculant to add to my new fish tank projects. Looking forward to filling that pond tank up with leaves. That's wonderful. That's going to be exciting. You'll be amazed how much stuff grows in there. Tough DC. Tough DC. Nice to meet you, Tough DC. I'm going to turn you blue. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh, right. J-Dog says, don't forget, you can get fatherfish dirt at the aquarium.net. Now, what you're going to get is the supplement. That's the supplement that you add to the dirt in order to extend its life, so that it'll be able to provide nutrients for your plants for 3 or 4 or 5 years until things really have cycled enough to be able to create a very long-term balance. Mad sump scientist. Join the Fatherfish Discord, Brad says. Brandon says it's 8:20 where I'm at. So you're an hour west of us. When a plant life Jason Peculiar is saying the Plant Life Project, I love your channel. I've learned a lot about plants there. Plant Life has an amazing channel. Post your link, please, Plant Life. It's really an amazing channel. And he's doing things nobody else is doing with houseplants and aquariums. And it's wonderful. It really is. So be sure, check him out. Check out what he's doing. It'll be worth your while. You'll learn a lot and you'll be able to expand what you're doing in your aquarium beyond what you ever thought possible. Just really remarkable stuff. Do check that out. Plant Life Project. Make sure you post your link in here. Brandon MMS is in Texas, he says. An hour difference? Should have been 2 hours. Way East Texas, I guess. I don't know. Freaky Fish Lady. My 21 tanks are all set up the father fish method. I've had only one fish loss during a surgery and very little outside care in over 1.5 months. Definitely works well. Thank you so much, Father Fish. Thank you, Freaky Fish Lady, for that testimonial. We appreciate all of them, and we got a lot of them. And there are more and more people discovering this and discovering what they can do to have a tank that they can fall in love with, a tank that really is alive, a tank that'll give them the joy and the peace and the satisfaction that we set up our aquariums to have. That's why we do them, to make them something rare and exotic and beautiful in our home. And this is the way to do it. This makes it happen. But I add red clay to the dirt layer, says Techno Allah. Yes, absolutely. And the best way to do that is to liquefy the clay because it's very dense. If you put it in water, just dissolve it in water and then pour that into the dirt. A lot of peat moss, a lot of potting soil, like that. Pour it into there, mix it all up real good. That way all of the nutrients from the clay are well mixed into the substrate and they'll be a whole lot more accessible. That way there's no advantage to putting down a layer of clay because it's going to be inert for a long, long time. Plants can't pierce their roots into it. They can only go around it. But if you do what I'm suggesting, then you really can make use of that total amount of clay in the system, or that is to say the plants can. Let's see. Elaine Lucart says, green water is clean water. The same people who don't like algae have a hemorrhage if a few dandelions pop up, but will go out and pay big bucks for daffodils. Well, ain't that the truth? What is it? One man's poison. It's not the right one. Yeah, well put, Elaine. Well put. We need to learn to love it all. Just love it all. It's all good. Here's the thing. If you're worried about your tank becoming sick, the way to prevent that from happening is to keep it well, keep it healthy. A healthy tank doesn't get sick unless something is put into it that causes the health to collapse. Try to get that picture because it's not the invasion of some little microbe that's going to mess things up. That never happens. The tank is full of all kinds of microbes, but there's a balance in there that is a healthy balance that keeps things in check. It's only when you feed 10 tons of food, do something really stupid, whatever it is, to throw the balance out of whack and to make the tank sick, That's the point where the nasties take hold and they get all excited. Oh, good luck. It's sick in there. It's rotten. It's turning foul. Fish are dying. Whoopee. And they jump in and make it 1,000 times worse. They can't do that in a healthy tank. They'll jump into a healthy tank and immediately they'll get broadsided from every side. They'll get knocked out. They won't be able to function. They won't be able to do anything. They won't be at home. They won't be comfortable. They won't be happy. And they'll probably just die or go hide in the corner and wait for things to get bad. That's the way it works. It's exactly the way it works. The good overcomes the bad by being in a healthy environment. The bad overcomes the good by being in a sick environment. So it's the environment, it's what you put in there that really makes all the difference. That's why I keep saying, stop feeding your fish. Don't feed your fish. If you got a tank full of little tiny fish and you've got a deep substrate and you've got lots of plants growing in there and things happening, those fish have enough food in that tank to support themselves permanently. Permanently. Now, I'm not talking about 6-inch Oscars. I'm talking about 1-inch fish. I'm talking about little fish, the kind of fish you mostly have in your tanks. If it's a healthy tank, a lot of plant life, a deep substrate, some leaf litter if you can do that, they will have more than enough food because they will be part of that whole web of life that's going on in your tank. They'll be part of it. They'll be able to share in it. They'll participate fully in it as a member of that living community. You don't need to keep throwing stuff in. The more stuff you throw in, the worse it gets. I overfed this tank. This one right here. I got freaked out. I put a bunch of fish in. And I started putting frozen cubes in. One a day. I did it for, 4 or 5 days in a row. And I thought I was going to lose the tank. I had to back off quick. There were fish that were struggling, that had not been struggling. The water was not looking really nice. Things were kind of going downhill. So I quit doing that. I got in there and started pulling out a whole lot of hair algae that was beginning to grow. Feeding that tank was a terrible thing to do. A terrible thing. It virtually destroyed the tank because it created an imbalance of raw nutrition, of dead material. If I'd been putting microworms or something live in there, would have been a different matter entirely. But I was putting dead material in there. Any kind of dead fish food, flake food, pellets, anything like that. You've got to be really, really careful with it. Really careful with it. If you think you're feeding, I was thinking about doing a video. The video would be called, What is a Pinch? What is a pinch? What is a pinch? Look at this. Here we go. Let's do a pinch here. What's a pinch? It's hard to show you. Let's see, where's the camera? There's a pinch. Now, how many fish would that amount of food feed? How many do you think? Probably 50 fish. That's enough for 50 fish for 2 days. Let's see, let's do 10 fish. How's that? Can you see it even? 10 fish. 10 fish for 2 days. That's all you need. It really is. We've talked about this before. When a fish eats food, it does not digest all of that food. It only digests about 10%. Fish have a very tiny alimentary canal. By the time the food is eaten and gets through them, they process it in about 2 hours tops. In and out. And when it comes out, it's still 90% food value. So what happens to it? It gets eaten by another fish or by little microscopic critters that are in there, shrimp, snails, whatever. And they poop it out. Same deal, times 2, times 3, times 4. And this goes on for days. The same food is feeding your fish for 2 or 3 days. It goes on. Don't feed your fish. Now, I don't mean that as an absolute, but I mean it absolutely. If you catch my gist. What's going on here? Fish thrive with deep sand, Chris says. 70% plants and reasonable stocking levels. Yes, indeed, that's exactly right. I've got about 50 fish in this 40-gallon tank right now. The biggest ones are the rams, and they're maybe an inch. The rest are half that size or less. Really tiny fish. So it's a lot of fish in there, but not much of an impact, really. Let's see. Don't forget to hit the like button, says Tam. Thank you, Tam. My sheep always like to drink out of the spring with the algae in it. Isn't that interesting? Now, why do you suppose that is? And I've lost, oh, there it is. Kevin said, I just joined Discord. I'm a newbie. You will find a warm welcome over there, Kevin. Most everybody's here right now, but once we ring off, you'll find a warm welcome over there. Plant Life Project, thanks for the love. You're very welcome. Glad you posted your link. Thank you. For far as terrestrial plants go, I subscribe to Dr. Anam and like-minded people. Don't know what you're referring to, Technola. I've been mixing soil for my terrestrial plants for years. Looked like the supplements used are part of my potting. So absolutely. It's basically the same stuff. It's all garden supply material. I get every bit of it from gardening supply stores. Dirt is dirt. Rich dirt is rich dirt, whether it's in water or on land. What's your opinion on stores medicating every fish they sell? It's a good question, Chris. And it depends a lot on where they're getting their fish. If they're importing a lot of fish, buying fish from transshippers that are coming from the Far East and that are not being acclimated here in the States, then there is some justification for quarantining and treating. There's some people who treat automatically. I have never done that. But then the fish that I get are well acclimated fish. So my effort is to bring them back to a healthy condition, because they've been made unhealthy by virtue of the shipping they've been going through. A lot of these fish go through a process that may last a month or 2 months, sometimes even longer, before they finally land in somebody's fish tank. So when I get fish in, I check them out carefully to make sure they look okay. There's no ick or parasites or nothing visibly wrong. They don't show hollow belly or any kind of other problem. If they look good, I'll put them in a healthy tank and I'll get them going, get them eating, get them building up their strength and becoming a healthy fish again. That's my approach. That's not everybody's approach because most stores are not willing to do what I did. I had balanced tanks. All of my tanks in the shop were balanced tanks. These tanks you see here all came out of my shop. They were balanced tanks in the shop. They still are. I don't know any other shops that do that. One or two, maybe. Hardly any. It's not easy to do. I shouldn't say that. It's actually very easy to do. But it's not what anyone expects, anticipates, looks for, and very often people, newbies particularly, come into the shop and they'll say, "Oh, these tanks are filthy. Look at all the weeds growing in it. Look how much dirt's in the bottom. They're dirty tanks." Well, they need to understand what they're really talking about. What I usually say to people like that is, listen, you can go across the street to Petco and buy fish living in chemicals. And you'll take them home and they'll die. And you'll bring them back and you'll get new ones and take them home and they'll die. And bring it back and you'll get new ones, take them home and they'll die. You can do that if you want to. Or you can figure out why I'm doing this. It's not because I'm lazy and it's not because I'm stupid. It's because I know what I'm doing and I know what the fish need. And that's what I'm giving them. Now, look at it. Pay attention. Look what's going on. Learn. Learn. A lot of people do. I'm not usually that harsh, but a lot of people do. There are always those who, I want something clean. Well, then you don't want something that's alive, do you? Oh, it's your opinion on story medicating. Yeah, we did that. Brandon, what might be, or what could cause a white slime to be growing all over my plants? This is a tank I mentioned the other day with the melting jungle Vallis, Brandon. What I'm guessing, Brandon, is it's a new tank syndrome. What you got is a bacterial slime. If you will put shrimp and snails and Placostomus, some other catfish, mollies, those kinds of things in there, they'll eat all that up. It's actually nutritious. They'll eat it all up and they'll get it clean. And then you need to just sit back and let it mature, let it develop, let it do its thing. A lot of times plants will melt because they've been grown out in the air. You put them in water and those leaves all die because they can't take nutrition out of the water. But they'll grow new leaves. They'll grow leaves that will be appropriate for the water. So don't throw those plants away when the leaves on your new plant just kind of dissolve. Leave them in there. 9 times out of 10, they're going to come back strong. Techno Allah went on vacation for 2 weeks to come home to some of the fattest angelfish I've had. Then weeks later discovered aphids had invaded the frog's pit. Wonderful. I love it. That's right. All these little insects that you see hopping around on top of your tank, just flip the plants over. The fish will love them. Somebody called me today and said, there are little bugs in my fish food. I said, oh, the fish will love it. They'll love it. Is it okay to feed? Oh, yeah. Feed it. Just tiny, tiny bits. Don't go crazy with it. Great story, Techno Allah. George Sanchez. Sorry to inform you, I fail at starting my microworm culture from buried potatoes. I guess it's just too hot in Yuma, Arizona to try that method. That's unfortunate. I've never done it. I've seen it done. I've researched it. What he's talking about is trying to collect wild nematodes, wild microworm nematodes. And the way you do this is you scoop out a potato and you put it, a raw potato, scoop it out, or a baked potato, whatever, and you bury it under your rose bush. You bury it in a place where you can get back to it, next to a tree, whatever, and let it sit there for, I don't know how long, a week or two. Come back to it, take it out, scoop some of what's in there, and put it in your starter culture, your microworm starter culture, and you should get microworms that way. Well, I guess, unfortunately, it didn't work for George. Sorry, George. You may be right. It may be just too hot and too dry for the microworms to be there. I would assume it needs to be in a fairly moist soil for that to work. It can't be in a dry, powdery, or sandy soil, I'm sure. Kevin Rosenberg, so many gimmicky products on at the pet stores. Bad stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. Technoala maybe ordered a culture of microworms for $3.50 last night. You bet. Here's mine. Can you see my microworm? How old is this? This is 3 months old. 3 months. You see the worms? Can you see them? It's a little liquidy on top. I haven't tried stirring it. What I will do is add some, I've been adding yeast to it, but I need to add some cereal to it to absorb that moisture. But that's 3 months in, and it's dropped maybe half an inch. Look, there's a little net on top trying to find its way in there. Ha ha ha, you ain't gonna do it. Gonna get you. No stinky worms for me, boy. Chris says, my feeding pinches have dramatically shrunk since finding this channel. Bravo. Urbine, well, I'm feeding way too much. Yeah, that's right. It's easy to do. We don't understand. Jamaica, fish keeping Jamaica. Hello, Jamaica. Nice to have you with us. George says, I hope to pick up a microworm culture at the next club meeting in Phoenix next month. Yeah, maybe call somebody and see if they can bring one for you to make sure you get it. Microworm culture is so valuable and so helpful for so many kinds of fish. All the little tetras, all the little fish, they can eat microworms. I mean, it may be tiny to us, but it's big to them. Chris is saying Ocean Aquarium in Frisco has natural tanks. They do. They do a lot of CO2. They do it in a rather peculiar way. They have floating jars upside down that they fill with CO2 and let it just kind of dissolve and gas out. As a result, they have tremendous plant growth in their tanks. Much stronger plant growth than I do. I don't do it because I do the deep sand bed. They're not doing deep substrates, maybe 1 or 2 tanks, but by and large, they're not doing deep substrates. So the CO2 they need, I don't need it because the deep substrate creates CO2 really more than you can possibly dissolve in the water. And it's down in the dirt where the plants are going to be able to access it. Never bought fish from Petco, Hervine says. Well, count your blessings, Herbie. What else? Brandon MMS. Yay! Another reason to go to the fish store. If it's a great fish store, it's a great thing to do. Absolutely. Kevin says makes so much sense. Definitely the best way to keep aquariums. And Tam says make sure to come continue the conversation on Discord. Fish Keeping Jamaica. I learned that a few years ago, microworm starter culture. Sad to say, that never worked for me. Ha ha ha. That's curious. You'd think in Jamaica it would. Well, maybe the worms never got over to the island. I don't know. I can't imagine. Damn Shepherd, my tanks have never been healthier since I switched over to the father fish method. I can't talk. All right, try it again. My tanks have never been healthier since I switched over to the father fish method. There it is. Thank you, Tam. Delightful. Fish Keeping Jamaica. Think I'll try the potato idea again. Let you know how it turns out. You betcha. Fish. Arivan. All right, I'm down to the bottom. Look at that. We got 10 minutes to go. Aquafinity. Hello, hello. Technoala wants to know how deep is deep. I love it. How deep is deep? I recommend 1 inch of dirt and 2 inches of sand. Now, when you do that top inch of sand, mix it in with some leaf litter, some mulch, some humus, preferably that you've collected from the wild from a body of water, so it's got a lot of life in it. Make that the top layer, and then lay a little more on top of that. So 1 inch of dirt, 2 inches of sand. The top inch of sand, you want to begin mixing some stuff in with it, some humus. That's going to provide nutrition for a whole lot of microfauna to be able to grow and thrive. It also will provide a bed for little tiny plants like Cuba, little short-rooted plants that can't get down 2 inches. So it's a way to overcome a problem that we've had with a 2-inch substrate by getting some nutrition in that top layer. Ooh. Tam Shepherd has posted the Forever Microworm Culture video. Thank you. Aquafinity, long time no see. Nice to see you. Lumpy Dog. Hi, Lumpy Dog. I set up 4 identical 20-gallon long tanks. Same plants, water change schedule, stocking, feeding, etc. 2 tanks doing great. 1 tank is okay with minor issues, and 1 tank is a disaster. Oh, well. Yeah, I've had that happen. In fact, I did that at the shop. I've got a video on it. I did bell jars. I did 3 bell jars, and I mixed different material in them. And one of them was just dreadful. It crashed. It was awful. I never managed to rescue it. The others did well, though. Fish Keeping Jamaica, Father Fish. How would you advise a hobbyist about substrate thickness and glass thickness? Is there a rule in how thick the substrate is based on the glass thickness? No. Decide if you've got a really big tank, like a 55-gallon tank, you can put more than 1 inch of dirt in there. I would not go crazy with it, though. 1.5 inches maybe, and then 2 to 3 inches of sand. A bigger tank you can do more with, but don't go overboard with it. The problem, here's the issue. While the dirt is really helpful and vital, you can overdo it. you can have more dirt in there than the volume of water is going to be able to maintain and still be healthy. In other words, you can overpower it. And I've done that by just kind of going crazy, throwing lots of stuff in the tank and putting a little sand in, and it blew up, literally blew up. I mean, it just fouled, and it never got better. I had way too much dirt in there for the volume of water. That was a 10 gallon tank, and I had 2.5 to 3 inches of dirt. It was hopeless. So don't do that. When I say 1 inch, I don't mean 2 inches. I mean 1 inch. Now, if you got a really big tank, 100 gallon tank or so, you can do 2 inches. Just do 4 inches of sand on top of it, and volume will be able to handle it. But don't do it in a smaller tank. You're just looking for trouble. Oh, let's see. Aquafinity, Tam Shepard, do you have a YouTube channel? She does not. Tam Shepard is a delightful young woman from England who I met on Discord live on video about a week ago. It was wonderful. Delightful woman. Had a great conversation. It's one of the wonderful things we're able to do on Discord is actually get to know people better by meeting face to face. Let's see. Aquafinity has posted a link to something. Don't know what. Chris just posted his Vallisneria harvest on Discord. Lovely. Wonderful. Technoala is setting up a 29 and a 36. Well, good job. If you need help, just don't be afraid to holler at us. We're here to help. I should mention one of the real benefits to the Discord channel is that we have experts there ready and willing to help people who are having problems, whatever the problem is. We've got a whole host of issues, and people select those they believe they can be most helpful with, and they get notified when somebody comes in with that problem. It's an excellent system, and as we've helped a lot of people, and they're looking to help a lot more. Fish keeping Jamaica. Let's say you have a small 10 gallon. How thick should the substrate be? 1 inch of dirt, 2 inches of sand. In a 10 gallon, that's fine. If you want to do a little less, you can. But 1 inch of dirt, 2 inches of sand in a 10 gallon tank is fine. It works perfectly well. One is going dirted. Well, they both should be going dirted. Let's see. Lumpy Dog, Fish keeping in Jamaica. I use 3/4 inch dirt mixed with 1.5 inch sand cap in my 10 gallon very successfully. Planted tank with neo shrimp and endlers. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Brandon, anyone else ever see dirt ending up in spots on top of the sand? 1 inch dirt, 3 inch sand cap, and there are spots where dirt clouds are popping up like adults. I don't know. Just put some more sand in. Putting it, if you got 3 inches, put another 1/2 inch in. That should not be happening. Just add more sand. That's about really all you can do when that kind of thing happens is just layer that sand a little higher. And again, mix some humus in with it so you're not blocking the surface animal life from the nutrition base. Aquafinity is posting Mary Page's channel. She's got some nice stuff. Mary's just moved into a new home. She's thrilled about it. First time in 10 years, she said. She's had her own pillow with her own bed. So she's excited about that. starting to set up new tanks, just enjoying life. Technoala, I need advice for crystal red shrimp. You need to come over to Discord. We can help you over there, Techno. The link to the Discord is posted. Tam Shepard just posted it, just two down. Herbeam says, I'm on Discord. They're very helpful and very funny with their memes. It is a lot of fun, isn't it? Brandon MMS, could it be worms? Don't know what you're referring to. Could what be worms, Brandon? High Aquafinity. Okay, I've hit bottom here. And we're at 9:57. We're about out of time. Here, Fishy. Hi there, here, Fishy. Nice to see you, lady. Happy to have you here. I listen to your songs and I love them. They're just so much fun. I ought to play one. Father Fish got buried in the substrate. Great. All right. We're down to it, I guess. Okay. Anything else? The ant hills. Could worms be causing that? I don't know, Brandon. That's really interesting. I suppose it's possible. I mean, there could be something living in there, living in that sand that's doing it, that's pulling it up. Certainly possible. Seems a little odd. I haven't seen it happen. Try a little more sand, see if it makes a difference. And if you do the leaf balm thing, that'll cover a lot of sin. You know, that hides a lot of those kinds of problems. Tam Shepard said one of the greatest things about Discord is meeting so many like-minded people from all over the world. Yeah, we do. We have people literally from all over the world. But we're going 24/7. The people who are up all night, my night, their day, are there when I'm sleeping, and vice versa. It's great fun. Brendan's going to bed. New England Endler. Hello, New England Endler. We're going to get a whole gang coming in now at 10 o'clock. But I'm too tired to stay up. So we're going to call it a night. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you for being part of the show tonight. Part of the fun. What is this I'm looking at? I don't know. Oh, I know. Not what I want. Let me see. I'll tell you what. Let's get a little tune up here. Not that one. I think I can find this. Where is it? Here's one by Aquarium Comp. Oh, here it is. All right, let's do this. This is fun.
Father Fish buried in his substrate, setting up a...
I messed it up. Let's start it over.
Father Fish got buried in his substrate, setting up a new tank Christmas Eve. You can say there's no way he's down in there, but as for me and Mary, we believe. He'd been carrying too much sand now, and he tipped in with the bag. He wanted to make a deep bed. Now he's fertilizing plants instead. When they found him in the morning, in that tank way in the back, he was beneficial down there. The plant roots were never ever looking back. Father Fish got buried in his substrate, setting up a new tank Christmas Eve. You can say there's no way he's down in there, but as for me and Mary, we believe. Now we're all so proud of Mary. She's been taking this so well. See her sleeping in with Calvin, changing water and giving guppies crust eggshell. All our tanks suck without father. An inch of gravel now we hate. And we just can't help but wonder, should we haul those bags of sand and test our fate? Test our fate! Father Fish got buried in his substrate, setting up a new tank Christmas Eve. You can say there's no way he's down in there, but as for me and Mary, we believe.
Bravo. Thank you all. Have a blessed evening. See you